This has got to be the first time ever that we have started off big game breakdowns with the Cincinnati Bearcats, right? Let's start
Absolutely.
off in Salt Lake City, number 17, Cincinnati at number 24, Utah. The Utes currently 8.5 point favorite. That game will kick off at 10:15 Eastern on ESPN. Um, Bearcats, when I was looking at this game, man, they low key have one of the best offensive lines in the country that nobody talks about. They're number one in offensive line run push, number one in sacks given up. Brendan Sorsby, that quarterback, man, he's thrown 20 touchdowns to only one interception. They've won 7 games in a row. They lost that opening game in Arrowhead, which was a home game for them. It was at neutral site in Arrowhead where they lost to Nebraska by 3 points, and everyone's kind of like, Nebraska might not be that good. No, Cincinnati might just be that good this year. They're second in the country in points per play. They got 3 guys with over 400 yards rushing, including Brendan Sorsby. Unfortunately for them, Evan Pryor, their leading rusher, is going to be out for this game. So they're going to lead on Wisconsin running back Tyree Walker against that Utah defense. That Morgan Scalley led Utah defense is number 11 in defensive stop rate. And since the Texas Tech game, Utah is 5th in pick six as game grader. So they're playing the 5th best ball of anybody here in the last month.
Yeah, man, they're just playing really good football right now. They blasted Colorado last week with backup quarterback. And dude, I was telling you before this, is there a more like just seem like Utah quarterback name than Bird Ficklin? Uh,
Nope.
yeah, there really isn't. I know it's the Devin Dampier show, and also stop me if you've heard this before. We're going into a Utah game where we've got questions with who's going to play quarterback in regards to the injury reports, and there is
Yeah.
nobody, not a single team in all of college football that is more of a head scratcher and frustration and borderline should be somewhat penalized for how they handle the injury reports in regards to their quarterback situation than Utah and Whittingham. We love us some Kyle Whittingham. We love the Utes, but man, it's just ridiculous how they handle that. It's been going on for years now. But anyway, I think Dampier is going to start and going to be playing this week. Just my total guess on that at this point. But I mean, Ficklin had over 100 yards. He had like 150 yards rushing last week
Mhm.
against Colorado and played well in that game. So the Utah rushing attack, no matter who the quarterback's going to be, is going to be the key in this game. I mean, that's just where it starts with Utah. Cincinnati's got to be able to slow down the Utah running game. If they can, they'll have a chance to win this game outright. If they can't, Utah could get on them pretty good. I think it tells you what it doesn't shock me when you're talking about the game grader deal there with Pick Six previews that Vegas and the wise guys have this line currently at, like you said, 8.5. It's gotten up as high as 9.5
Yeah,
as
what did it
well.
open up with on Sunday night? Like we talked about a guest spread. It was like 7, 7.5. It
Seven.
was bet up to 9.5, like you said.
Yep, got up to 9.5. And on that episode, I almost pulled the trigger immediately on that. More on that here in a second. But yeah, the with Cincinnati, you hit on it, man. Sorsby has been as solid as a dual threat quarterback in the Big 12. I know Devin Dampier's dual threat as well. But 20 passing touchdowns for Sorsby, 7 rushing touchdowns. You mentioned the rushing yard numbers there as well. The offensive line has been fantastic for them, like you talked about. Defensively, they've been a little suspect this year, since he has at times. But yeah, they have. They've been a little
Yeah.
suspect at times.
I mean, they can't create negative plays. That's a problem.
Yep. They're not creating negative plays. That was obviously Texas Tech when they beat Utah earlier in the year. That was something they did really well. If you think about it, the 2 teams that Utah has lost to are, I mean, Utah, BYU, and Texas Tech are your 3 best defenses in the Big 12. And Utah lost to the 2 teams that had the other 2 better defenses besides them in the Big 12. And I don't think there's any, secret to that. Utah and Kyle Whittingham's teams, the better teams for Utah over the last several years, are when they can line up and impose their will on you physically, like they did to Colorado last week, like they did to Arizona State when they didn't have their starting QB in that game, and Jeff Sims had to start for Arizona State at Utah. So I think Cincinnati physically, like the strengths of their team are the defensive line and the offensive line. They're very good on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Corleone, the defensive tackle, the man in the middle there for Cincinnati, is one of the best in the country. I mean, he's going to be a high NFL draft pick for a reason. So they've got to be able to hold up physically on the line of scrimmage, and we got to be able to slow down that Utah running game. And you know as well as I do, anytime you're playing at night at Rice Eccles, cannot. I mean, this goes for any game, obviously, but you cannot turn the football over there at night, or things can snowball in a hurry against you. But good news for that is, again, Sorsby having a veteran guy like that, he doesn't really turn the football over much. That sucks about Evan Pryor, man. Not being, you want to see when you have a matchup like this where it's got conference championship implications. You want to see both teams at full
Mhm.
strength. So that sucks for Cincy that Pryor will not be playing. Tyree Walker, the transfer from Wisconsin, has been productive for them this year, but not really overall as good as Pryor has been. Uh, but a guy that I want to mention, not probably, he is the most explosive player in this game offensively for either team. Wide receiver Cyrus Allen. He was very productive in 2022 and 2023 at Louisiana Tech. He transferred to La Tech to Texas A&M, and then he transferred from an A&M to where he's at Cincy this year. Cyrus Allen has 9 receiving touchdowns on the year, which is second in the entire country, only behind Elijah Surratt at Indiana.
Mhm.
So that's obviously Brennan Sorsby's favorite target, and he's averages a lot of yards per catch. He's explosive. So Utah will need to bottle him up. What are your thoughts on Cincy being able to go on the road and be able to beat a Utah team? Like, so right now, Cincinnati's only true road game, if I'm not mistaken, in Big 12 play has been at Kansas, right?
Yeah, when they won that game was like 5.5 point underdogs.
Yep.
Um,
No,
yeah, I mean,
by the
my
way,
big
real quick, no offense to Lawrence, Kansas. It's not
yeah,
Utah. That's not Rice
yeah.
Eccles.
My big question is, can Cincinnati's defense level up in this game on the road at night in Rice Eccles?
Yep.
It's a lot different than what A&M or Texas Tech played in earlier this year with a 10 a.m. kick.
Yep.
You're talking 10 hours later in the day. And so I don't know. Again, in the coaching matchup, I mean, we love Whittingham. We love Kyle Whittingham. I don't think anybody would try to argue Scott Satterfield as a better coach than Kyle Whittingham. So I think the coaching edge goes to Utah. And I think more, I would be nervous just by seeing Utah's front lines get dominated by Texas Tech at home about a month ago. I would be nervous about that if it were, anybody else but Cincinnati's defensive line. I know the Corleone's good, but the defensive line, like we said, is just they can't create negative plays this year.
Yep.
They really and you talked about it. Utah's running game is 5th in the country, 267 rushing yards per game. So, I mean, that's really the big thing for me is can Cincinnati, against the crowd, against everything going against them, can they level up in this game?
Yeah, it's going to be tough for me to call that there, man. And like we were talking about the line a little bit earlier, I do have I have a best bet in this game, and I got Utah when it was at 8. So I
Okay.
took Utah -8 as a best bet in this game, and they will probably be used in my Only Idiots Bet college teasers. One of those this week. I'm probably
Yeah.
going to have a couple of those. So be on the lookout for those on our socials, on X, Instagram, TikTok, all that. I'll probably have some info on that later this week in regards to which games I'm going to be doing that on. I'm 3-0 on the year on those, but looking at Utah in that spot. But anyway, Utah right now at -8. Again, lower ranked team, 2-loss team, laying 8 points. Like you said, the game grader metric, all the wise guys obviously like Utah in this spot. It's just hard for me, man, to think that Cincinnati right now, with like we talked about, with the kind of the issues that they've got defensively, I just don't think that they're going to be able to go into Rice Eccles at night and beat this Utah team. I think also too, this is it for Utah. Like, this is it. Back against the wall. They cannot lose another game. Their season is on the line in this spot. And I've still got enough respect for Kyle Whittingham, offensive coordinator Jason Beck, and defensive coordinator Morgan Scalley, and this roster, that offensive line, that defensive front for Utah, and whoever plays quarterback. Like, I do think Devin Dampier is going to play. But what I saw game 1 from Bird Ficklin, they're running the same style of offense. It's not like they're bringing in the whatever the Bryson Barnes, the old pig farmer,
Yeah.
bringing somebody else in that like has to run a completely different style of offense. They're running the same style of offense, and I just really like Utah's defense in this game, and I think they're going to get it done and cover the -8 in this spot.
I don't have a best bet in this game. But yeah, if I had to go one way or another, we talked about it, how, we might disagree a little bit on the show. I mean, when it was at 9.5, like I took a long hard at Cincinnati just because the nature of Big 12 games and how close they are and how close all the teams are together. And we talked about, there's been like what 9 games this year where like it was an unranked team who was favored over a ranked team, and the unranked team 6-3, and you were on the losing side of 2 of those. So if you're
Mhm.
going to take for Utah, I was just going to take the opposite of Utah and take the opposite of you. So
Hey, I'm 3-2 in those games, though. I've
there you
lost
go.
2,
Yeah,
but I'm 3-2 on the year in those games.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I just again, man, I just think the Utah's defense and just overall, I think Cincinnati's a really good football team, but they haven't earned my respect fully enough yet to go into Rice Eccles at night and handle their business. Not to this point.
Yeah, it should be a good one. College game day will be there. So it should be a raucous atmosphere on Saturday morning in Salt Lake City. All right, that's it for us. Week 10 is upon us. It's going to be a fun week. We got week 11 already on deck. We're already thinking about a lot of those games, catching a lot of early lines. We'll be back on Sunday night, Monday morning for a little guest spread, give you some early lines. We'll give our reaction to whatever happens this Saturday, November 1st, and what happens on Halloween night with Rice taking on Memphis. So we'll be back on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. For Lance Barton, I'm Tyler Noe. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next time.